Hi everyone. Okay, I thought I would share this tutorial. I'm sure some of you have seen the other one that I did, the window envelope. I wanted to do something where I could sew it into my journal. And of course I can't do that with regular envelopes, so I made my own. And then they look like this. So this does flip up and you've got the envelope on this side. And then on this side, it is a side pocket, so it's perfect size for holding a postcard or whatever you want to put in there, obviously. I've only decorated the top part. I haven't done the back at all, but I just wanted to, you know, do something different and functional, because you know that's me, right? So I will show you how I did that, and I'm only going to do one side because it's exactly the same for the other side. So just to shorten things up, I'm using a 12 by 12. It is not tea stain, but you can go ahead and tea stain it if you like. I'm putting the pattern, this pattern, on the inside of the envelope. And so you need some tracing paper. Now this is just cheapola paper. I think I got it at the dollar store. It's a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be. So I was watching Nick the Booksmith, and she did that thing where she sprayed with Krylon or something like this. This is what I used, was the Krylon interior, exterior, and on the side, on the sticker, it's crystal clear. Nowhere on here does it say matte, which I've done it with the matte and I don't like it as much. This one does give a little bit of a shine, and it excuse me, it does make it a little more transparent. Oh, I don't know what just happened. And of course I don't like white, so I took some, I didn't ink it, no, I sprayed it with the mix of this one here, sorry, watered down walnut ink. I don't know why I can never remember the name of that. It's very watered down, so you can use that, or you can use like a VersaFine and just ink it up if you don't want the white. And then what else did I do? Okay, so let's go step by step. I'll give you the measurements, but you know, again, you can make this any size you want. So I'm using my scoreboard, and the first thing I'm going to do is score it at the 3, and then at the 7.5. Okay, don't need that now. Oh yes, we do. Then you're going to turn it and score it at 6, so halfway. All right, so then I'm wanting everything on the inside, so I'm just going to fold it and do my creases. This is the shorter piece. This will be your triangle, your flap. So I'm going to go to the outside with that. And then fold it again on the last scored line, like so. Oh, look, that didn't work very nicely. Do that again. Went wonky. Okay, and then I give it another extra crease because this is your sew line. Okay, so you have something that looks like this. Now you want to create your flap. So what I'm going to do is mark my center with a pencil, and it will be, I'm going to do this in inches because it's a little bit easier for the scoreboard. Doesn't like centimeters, unfortunately. So there's my center there. And there. Then you need your cutter. And open it up. And then on the outside edge, find your center mark there. So line your center mark up to the edge of your blade, and then you want to find your crease. Sometimes, depending on the paper you use, you can't see the crease, just put a pencil mark there. So you're going to line up that one at the top and this one at the side and cut it. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Line up the side, line up the top. Then what you're going to do is fold it in half. Mark your center again, or your crease line, I should say. And then you're going to line that side up with the top point. And there are your flaps. Okay? So what you should have should look like that. Okay. Now, just for speed's sake, I'm only going to work on the one side. Now, you're going to cut, although I'll tell you in two pieces. So you're going to cut two pieces, 15 centimeters by 11 centimeters for your window side. So your window side is your blank side. It's the side without the flap. So you're going to have a piece here and another piece on this side. Then you're going to decide how big you want your window. I used this the last time. I'm going to use it again. And my tracing paper is the right size for that. So all you need to do is find where you want to position your window. You can do it anywhere you want, down at top, you know, whatever, do it this way, doesn't matter. And they don't have to match because they're going to be on opposite sides of your signature anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just trace around it, whatever shape you decide. You can use one of your dies and just trace around your die. Okay, and then I take my craft knife and just cut like this. So make sort of an X. And I'm going to the inside of the pencil line. So then when you go ahead and you do it for your paper that goes on the outside, you're going to cut on the outside of the pencil, or sorry, the inside of the pencil line. This one's the outside, the top is the inside. That way you get the right sizing. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm going to pause it for you guys and I'll be right back. Okay, that's done. Now the next thing you're going to do is take your outside piece, but you're going to put it inside and line it up to where you want it to sit on the front. And you know, if it's not perfect, so what? It doesn't matter. Okay, that's approximately where I want it to go. Flip it back over and then trace your inner line. Follow, like, make sure your fingers kind of following the edge That way it doesn't bubble up. The first one I did, I guess I didn't push very hard on the pencil, and I really had a hard time seeing what I was doing. So this time I thought, okay, push harder. And I think that's all right. Yeah. Okay. So take that out. And now you want to go on the inside of this pencil line. And you're going to ink it, so it doesn't matter, right? Okay, I'm going to pause you here and I'm going to cut. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and it goes that way. There we go. All right, so now you want to cut your flap. And I'm just going to give you the measurements. I've already cut mine out. So if you cut a piece 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, and you go from corner to corner across the 15, you've got two pieces. Take one of those pieces and do the same thing, cut it corner to corner, and then you've got exactly the right size for your flap. So like I said, I've already done mine. So there's mine, and I've just used, I ran out of tea stain paper, and this is an index card that I tea stained, so I'm just going to glue that on there. And then I have a piece of 15 by 11 centimeters for this side, because I want to create the envelope pocket, okay? So that's what I've cut. Now there's going to be a border, and you want it, you know, to have a little bit of room at the top to slip things in and out. So I could even cut that down a little bit more. The other thing too is when you fold this back, you might have a bit of a border. So I go ahead and I trim just a hair off the bottom of that. So let's do that. Just a hair. This cutter is so long that I have trouble seeing. I do like it though, I have to say. I do like it. I love that it has centimeters. That's awesome. Okay. So when I say a hair, I mean a hair, just a little bit. Now at this point you can decide if you don't want, you know, whatever paper you've used, if you don't want that to show, you can always add another piece on the inside. That's completely up to you. I'm just going to ink mine just because I don't really want the red showing too much. And right now what I'm going to do is ink around the edge and get all of this stuff kind of inked up and grungy. Now I could pause this so you're not watching me ink, but let's see if I can do it fairly quickly. I usually don't do anything quickly. You guys know this. That's why my videos are always so long. I think it's because I'm super picky. I don't know. And I'm going to do this as well because the flap will come up, and I don't really want it to be white. I won't bother doing the other side because that'll just take too long. I can go back and do that later. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so the next thing you want to do, I'm going to close that up. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to take your tracing paper and you're going to glue it here. So open your envelope up after I just folded it nicely. And I need my scrap under here. And put my glue all around the edge here. A decent sized border, depending on how wide you cut your paper or your tracing paper. So I'm sandwiching it in between. I didn't do that before, but I kind of like that idea better because then there's nothing to catch when you're putting things in and out of your envelope. Okay. Then I'm going to flip that over and take my, oh, before I do that, ink this. I did that last time on my prototype and I was so mad at myself because this part's really difficult to ink when it's glued down. I'm on camera for you guys. I'm really trying to move forward. I keep sliding my chair back, and of course then my work ends up moving away. I'm just going to grunge this up. Okay. So now I want to glue this side. And make sure you get it around the center here. All right. Out of the way. Ooh, where's my... Feels a little sticky. All right. So now we want to lay this down. So line up your window and then sort of adjust where you need to. There we go. Will flatten out. It's just wet from the glue. Okay. So that is my window side. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to ink this section here so that it's awkward. Sorry, I'm right-handed. Just in case any little edge shows, I just go ahead and ink this part. And then this is my center part, so I am going to ink this. Make it Nice and grungy. I mean, really all that will kind of show is just through the window, so it's not that big a deal. And then the outside edge. Okay. So, oh, jeepers. I forgot to ink this. Now, I will do a little rounded edge, but I like to do it after it's glued and dried. Then it goes into your cutter really nice, and you get a nice, clean, rounded edge. Sometimes with a lightweight paper, it just doesn't work very well. Okay, I need glue that one first. I'm trying to go fast. I think that's why I'm kind of feeling a little discombobulated. Okay, now get rid of that. And line up your tip. I have more glue on me than I do on it. Okay, so there's my flap. And the reason I like to use the tea, you can use anything you want, obviously, but I like the tea-stained paper just because then when you lift that up, you can journal. I don't put anything on these. I just like to journal on them. I'm going to trim this down just a hair, though. You can either do that or you can score it and fold it in to if you want a thicker edge to it. This is pretty good paper, so I don't need to do that. But if you're working with thinner paper, you can absolutely do that. Let's just take off about that much. Okay. And I will ink this. Normally I don't ink tea stain paper, but I'm going to this time. Give it a little bit of a frame. Not using a glue stick for that. I will use my liquid glue. And I want to leave a little bit of an edge there because that's where you're going to sew it. So you don't want a big bulky edge there. Okay. Tea stain paper is generally bumpy, so you need to use your bone folder to make sure it's adhered everywhere. Or a credit card if you don't have a bone folder. Something firm and with a straight edge. Okay, so there is your envelope side. Alright, and there is your window side. So when you have both sides done now, pretend this one's done, then what you're going to do is you're going to glue along the top. And I like to add just a little bit of glue here. It's not really necessary if you're sewing it in, but it might keep it in a better position for when you are sewing it in. So I add just a touch of glue on either side of the score line, and then just glue at the top. And that's it. So there's your envelope. And then you can go ahead and decorate it however you want. And it's a lot of fun. So I hope you give this a try, and I hope this was easy to follow. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great day. Bye.